What was your worst "my game, my rules" that you've ever experienced? No! You can't move a boat floating in water with mage hand! Have you ever tried to move a boat before? They're too heavy! The dude didn't realize I go boating every summer. You can tap a 4,000-pound boat floating in water, and it'll move like it's nothing. I think the only reason he did this is because I'm a woman. He said something like this every time I tried doing something creative. Today's sponsor is Saga of the Void Maiden. Join the crew of a rogue trader as they investigate a mysterious transmission from a planet that should not exist in this Warhammer 40k actual play web series. Link in the description. One game, 3.5. I make a super sneaky rogue sword sage with good lore, a special discipline weapon, and unlocking its power as part of the journey, etc. DM says cool. I use a special sword and a dagger, dual wielding. First fight, I lose the sword, which was my main reason for adventuring. Okay, I guess I can still work. Then we face some big enemies that shouldn't be able to see me because I have features specifically negating tremor sight, which is all they have. Nope, DM says they see me anyway. Okay, weird, but it would have been me soloing like 6 big things and that would have taken forever. Fine, don't want to take over a session. Then, I find a cursed MacGuffin short sword. I grab it after a battle since I need a decent weapon after losing my good one. It mind controls me into some kind of knight exemplar. I had to role play it out, and suddenly, I never use underhanded tactics, stealth, sneak attack, and have to go toe-to-toe with everything. And can't use my shadow hand, short range teleports, or anything else, because that's not an honorable way to fight. Trap finding? No decent, honorable person would stoop to such tactics. Why should I look for traps? Bluff or forgery? Also a no. Tumble or escape artist? I couldn't flop around like an idiot or escape. I must fight in a true, honorable fashion while upholding my station. And I had to use the cursed sword, so ranged attacks and dual wielding were out too. Plot point change? Fine, as long as it's temporary. But for at least half a dozen sessions, I was basically a worse fighter who couldn't even roleplay the way I wanted to when I made the character. All my skills, unusable. All my maneuvers, locked away. I left shortly after that, and the DM just kept on being a dum-dum. Many years ago, a friend of a friend of a friend wanted to DM for the first time. No big deal, we all agreed. There's a lot, so I'll just give some highlights. In the first session, we were teleported to Nazi Germany, World War II. That's weird, but fine, we could, roll with it. We eventually got into a fight, and apparently if you got shot, you died. Period. No damage rolls. HP meant nothing. Guns kill. End of story. Okay, I can understand this. Then came the description of the surrounding area. There was a forest and a castle. Well, we wanted to go to the castle, but were advised this was a cutscene and we couldn't. I eventually failed a saving roll on a trap and was, thankfully, falling to my death. The DM then tells our druid he can turn into a bird and save me, which he did. After that session was over, I asked my roommate why he saved me, and he just said, I had to suffer with them. I refused to play after that. There was definitely more railroading and blatant disregard for the rules, of course, but that's just what sticks out. Years ago, I was playing a Travel Cleric 3.5 edition in a game with a DM who checked all the horror story boxes, but it took a while for us to revolt because, well, he was one of the only DMs in town. In session 1, he insisted we all board a casino boat near the starting village, to the point of saying my travel spells would only work if we moved in that direction. At the beginning of session 2, he inserted his own PC from a previous campaign as a character 10 levels higher than the entire party, and used that character to justify putting us into a series of encounters that repeatedly put us on the edge of a TPK before, surprise, surprise, the guest party member would just save the day. This lasted until session 6 or so, where we were still on the casino boat, desperately trying to leave it repeatedly when he pulled out the deck of many things. I had been annoying him, I think, by role-playing my character as stir-crazy on the boat and wanting to return to traveling, as would I. I drew the wish card and wished for my god's artifact, which was a rapier that could strike incorporeal beings, like ghosts. He immediately seemed upset and ended the session. At the beginning of the next session, a wraith mysteriously appeared on the deck and attacked me. He told the rest of the party they weren't allowed to intervene, which I don't mind since I had the rapier, but every attack he declared as a miss. On the second or third round, I rolled an 18, 20, or 21 modified, and he still said it missed. When I asked why, he said it was because the wraith was incorporeal, and with the air of someone flipping a trap card, revealed that the wish spell wasn't strong enough to give me the real artifact. I had a basic, unenchanted rapier, which could never land a successful hit. The wraith HP drained me enough times to send me into the negatives, and I died. That caused a decent-sized fit at the table, especially when he told the paladin I couldn't be revived, and we all considered quitting the campaign. Instead, I re-rolled a monk, named him Bulletproof, and spent every combat running up the nearest wall as high as I could before elbow-dropping enemies. Annoyingly, the DM actually loved it and let us leave the boat so I'd have even higher objects to jump off of. But the mood was permanently soured, and we stopped showing up a few weeks later. You have incredible patience. I wouldn't have waited the few weeks. Enemy soldiers have magic bombs they're rushing toward our fort to blow it up. We were tasked with stopping this. We did so exceptionally well, with not a single soldier coming close to the fort. The DM evidently didn't plan for us to succeed and got so frustrated when we sent one bomber's soldier's body to the bottom of a pond that the next soldier in initiative basically got 3 turns in a row to dive in, swim to the bottom, retrieve his comrade's bomb, swim back up, run past us, cross difficult terrain, and enter the fort to blow it up. We managed to talk him down from this though, but he did throw in some "Fine!" screaming for good measure. When we finally won, he described us turning around to see the fort destroyed anyway because other enemies got in on the other side, and we couldn't have done anything to stop it. I was a drow gloomstalker ranger assassin rogue. Nice. And the DM had allowed me to pay someone to enchant my goggles to alleviate sunlight sensitivity with Devil's Sight, so I could see in the drow darkness I could cast. Ooh. Fast forward to me finally seeing an opportunity to use it. Part of the fight included my character mounting up on a wyvern that the party druid had befriended to rain figurative hellfire down on enemies below in an open field battle. I cast darkness on my bow, expecting permanent advantage thanks to my Devil's Sight goggles. Well, my DM ruled that because the enemies knew the arrows were coming from the blob of darkness, I wouldn't get advantage on the attacks, which completely flies in the face of the unseen attacker rule. Also, I'm sorry, but you're telling me a 30-foot wide sphere of darkness doesn't mask where in the darkness the arrows are coming from? How about I stand behind a 30-foot diameter circle of one-way glass, where I can see you but you can't see me? I have something I can shoot through the glass. You know, I'm on the other side of it. Dodge it. Go ahead, I'm right there, go for it. He still kept the disadvantage on attacks against me, but house ruled that I wouldn't get advantage. Like, if he didn't want me using the combo, he should have said no to the Devil's Sight goggles. DM had a player character in a one-shot with a group of 6 other players. Very quickly, we could all tell that it was just a game for the DM to live out some kind of power fantasy. My friend, who we joke has ridiculous luck, to the point where he once rolled a 34 on a D20 on Roll20, what? Decided to turn his luck up to the max and stole the show from the DM. This man avoided every trap, essentially one turn killed the big bad evil guy, and when the DM got mad and had his character sneak up on my friend, he ended up getting paralyzed by my friend and was about to be killed by the whole group. The DM got so butt mad that he decided his character would magically be teleported to another dimension and a meteor would show up and destroy the entire planet. Then he closed the game and kicked everyone out of this Discord. It was absolutely hilarious. Yeah, scorched earth policy right there, huh, buddy? Found a Lost Mines campaign online. The DM advertised as new player friendly. He didn't hold a session 0, but posted his rules in the Discord server. We had to track ammo and rations, take a constitution penalty for sleeping in medium or heavy armor, and another con penalty for sleeping in inclement weather without a tent or other shelter. Fair. The final big rule was playing with the optimal lingering injuries table from the DMG, which he didn't explain. He just gave us a page number to look up in a book most of us didn't own. About 30 minutes into playing, he told us we'd been traveling as hired guards for 3 days and to deduct 3 rations from our inventories. I was playing a ranger and asked about using my class ability to forage and hunt for food. He made me roll for it, and I rolled high enough to find 3 days worth of food for the party of 4. The first combat encounter left me and our paladin at 0 HP. But we survived our death saves after each of us using an inspiration roll. The session ended shortly after we were stabilized. Now after that, I got to thinking about the lingering injuries table and found a PDF online. The table absolutely mortified me because there was a real possibility of my character getting crippled and essentially becoming unplayable after a bad roll. The lingering injuries ranged from a missing limb or eye, with penalties to a scar that complements your appearance on a nat 20. So I messaged the DM and asked if he could, dial back some of the rules because this game was far more of a hardcore survival game than a nice, easy intro for new players, which is true. The paladin was brand new to the game. I'd been playing for about 4 months at this point, and in an in-person campaign. And the other 2 players were pretty new too. The DM told me this is how he wanted to run his campaign, and if I didn't like it, I should leave. He removed me from the campaign and the server. Oh, by the way, he also used the critical fumble table for rolling a natural 1. Yeah, real charmer for a new guy right there. We aren't using hit dice for short rests currently. A short rest gives 30% HP instead, and we can only take 2 per long rest. My DM also keeps insisting that he can't balance around a magical 2d6 or 1d12 weapon. So my barbarian needs to change and become sword and board. He keeps saying he's going to make me a dual wielder by the end of the game, despite me saying several times, that's not what I want to do. I want to be a big guy and swing an oversized hammer. Hey everybody, Brian Von VA checking in after the vid. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, ring that bell, and let us know in the comments below what was your worst my games, my rules type of person DM that you've actually experienced playing with. And if you feel like giving back this holiday season, you can by joining our membership program. You do get early access to videos, maybe a little bit more. We're working on that. We love you all. Please be safe, happy, and healthy, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.